called that uses shoulder protraction and depression. The main working muscles are the anterior deltoids and the long head of the biceps that crosses your shoulder joint. Progressions to build up to full planche would be tuck planche, advanced tuck planche, straddle planche, and lastly full planche. To make it more difficult, you can also just let go of one arm and fly basically. Front lever, another straight arm static skill where you hold your body parallel to the ground. Front lever is basically the opposite of planche, just in pull. Every other high level skill comes mainly from either planche or front lever. Front lever uses shoulder retraction and depression. And main muscles involved are the shoulder extensors, such as lats and posterior deltoids, and shoulder blade retractors, such as trapezius and rhomboids. Progressions are very similar to planche, so tuck, advanced tuck, straddle, and full front lever. You can also just let go of one arm, yeah, same as in planche. Human flag. One of the most cool looking skills in calisthenics, and one of the only skills that is both push and pull. In the human flag, the bottom arm needs to abduct, so push out as tall as possible, and the top arm needs to adduct, so pull in as short as possible. The human flag focuses on lats, teres major, trapezius for pull, and shoulder muscles and deltoids for push. Easier progressions are 45-degree human flag, bounces, and slow negatives. Muscle up. Again, another skill that is both push and pull, but also very overrated. It combines a pull-up and a straight bar dip in one clean motion, with the transition being the hardest part. In a muscle up, you want to go around the bar, pretty much like a hollow body pull-up. And you want to roll your shoulders forward, so elevate and protract. The muscle up trains lats and biceps brachii in the pull phase, and the triceps brachii and pectoralis major in the dip phase. Other scapular stabilizers like upper lower trapezius and serratus anterior are also involved. To perform a muscle up, you only need a strong base in high pull-ups and in weighted pull-ups, so get really good at them. Handstand. Probably the number one requirement for any high level push skill. Handstand is a balance focused skill, so regular strength gaining methods are not going to work very good. In handstand, you want to be in a straight line, have a posterior pelvic tilt, and push out the shoulders as tall as possible with elevation. Main muscles working are the deltoids to generate an abductional force, trapezius for scapular elevation, and the triceps brachii. Progressions are frog stand, spamming, and I mean spamming kick-ups and chest to wall handstands. Handstand push-ups, the skill every beginner wants to learn. It is a strength-focused skill, so not like handstand, but you need a solid handstand to achieve handstand push-ups. It is often referred to a military press in weightlifting. You can either perform handstand push-ups with the elbows flared out, which makes you go straight up and down, or with the elbows in, where you lean more forward. Handstand push-ups focus a lot on front delts, triceps brachii, upper trapezius, and the clavicular head of the pecs. To achieve it, I would suggest doing pike push-ups and many different handstand entries. King 540. This is one of the many skills in the freestyle category. Freestyle calisthenics is a sub-area combining dynamic tricks that mostly need a swing from a bar, strength dynamics, and statics. It's just basically all the tricks you see on social media, but it would definitely take another video, so let's only focus on my favorite freestyle move, King 540, aka Giant 540. In King 540, you want to have a supinated and more wider grip, generate maximum swing and height using a kip from the bar, and you don't need to straighten your legs. The most important thing to note is that you want to spin, so doing the 540 once you are on top of the bar and sideways. You don't want to be in a handstand-like position and then spin. Don't end up like this guy. You also need to let go of the bar while you spin. Easier variations are firstly getting to know how to go over the bar and spinning more and more after each attempt. You can either start practicing on a high bar directly, or firstly start practicing on a straight bar. Bag lever. Probably the most controversial skill in calisthenics, because whether bag lever is push or pull. Sadly, it is push because it pretty much uses the same muscles as in planche, but overall also a very underrated skill. In back lever, you want to have shoulder depression and protraction from the serratus anterior. You want to have posterior pelvic tilt and the intention to flex the shoulders, all the same as in planche. The difference, the shoulder angle. In back lever, you benefit from passive tension, and in planche, not. Back lever uses muscles for isometric shoulder flexion. Muscles involved are anterior deltoids, pectoralis major, and biceps brachii. Progressions, the same as in planche, are tuck back lever, advanced tuck back lever, half lay back lever, straddle back lever, and finally full back lever. I'd also highly recommend doing eccentric and concentric raises. Hephaesto, another skill that is both push and pull. Guys, I promise this is the last push and pull skill. Hephaesto is very often done in competitions and often referred to a full.
Hephaesto is like a muscle up, but you do it behind your back, right?
A what? How is that even possible?
When doing Hephaesto, you firstly want to start in a back lever-like position, so having protraction and depression. You want to have a more wider, supinated false grip, and then pull yourself to the bar, similar to a back lever pull-up. To do the curl at the end, you want to arch your body like a banana. Important note, you also don't need to necessarily do the dip at the end. You can also just leave it out. So Hephaesto could technically also be considered as pull. Hephaesto uses mainly biceps, forearms, shoulders, and pecs. And progressions are getting a clean supinated back lever pull-up, practicing the German hang, and doing assisted Hephaestos. One arm pull-up, the last exercise. It's basically a pull-up just with one arm. Yeah, one arm pull-ups take a huge amount of relative pulling strength and is also very popular in rock climbing. No need to flex on us, man. We calisthenics athletes can do that too. Let's break it down. When hanging with one arm, you want to rotate to your working arm and depress your scapula. And while pulling up, keep the elbows in and somewhat open your chest to engage your lats. You also don't want to go straight up and down, but rather in a C-shaped way. The primary working muscles are the latissimus dorsi, trapezius, and rhomboids, and the secondary working muscles are the biceps brachii and the forearms. Keep in mind, the more you close your chest, the more the secondary muscles will take over. For the one-arm pull-up, you want to be very strong in weighted pull-ups. You can work with a band for one-arm pull-ups, but keep in mind, bands are not the same as the